Hello everybody, welcome back to Bibles on a Budget. Today I have a review of a verse art Bible from the good folks at Thomas Nelson. This is a giant print center column reference Bible in Purple Leathersoft. So again, if you've seen one of my previous videos, this is from my recent haul video I did about 2 weeks back. And this is one of the Bibles I picked up while I was at my denomination that I'm a part of, their church conference. And yeah, this is really cool. I love verse art Bibles because I just love the fact that they put a verse in the cover. So it's really cool. But without further ado, let's take a look at the box. The box is pretty self-explanatory. Again, verse art, giant print Bible. Here is the side of that Bible, or the box itself. And then here's the back. I'm trying to adjust this here. I actually have a kind of a monitor now so I can actually order this or put this in the right place. But here it is. Here's the back after I try to center that real quick. And so here's some information about the Bible itself. Here's another picture of it. And then it gives you some information about it. It's not super like special in a sense that it's not got like a bunch of different kind of crazy cool helpful features, kind of like the color code study Bible. But this is a really good Bible for anybody who just wants a plain Bible, and maybe you might be interested in having those center column references instead of having them in the footnotes or at the end of the verses. So yeah, this is really cool. It's got a 12-point New King James Comfort Print font. That's the text size. Super awesome. There's the actual text size. And yes, this is also a red leather. All right, so without further ado, let's get this puppy out so you guys can see it in the wild. And bam, there you go. It is brilliant, brilliantly purple. And it's got a nice embossed verse on it. This is Psalms 29:11, and this is very beautiful. Um, to me, kind of the swirls and the style, the font kind of gives off this feminine vibe along with the purple. But either way, it's still very beautiful. So here's the front, super awesome. Here is the spine, and the spine has these kind of tooled lines here, but they, as far as more, this is not embossed, but this might be embossed. It feels like it. But you have the New King James logo there, and then you have the Holy Bible right there, and then on the back, let me show that to you. You got the ISBN. A little hard to see because it's in that dark purple, and then it is gilded, but it's silver, and it's got a purple and red ribbon and purple head and tail bands. Let me show that to you. Sorry, sometimes I can't see where I'm looking at, so I got to look at my monitor now. Okay, so let's get into this Bible so you can see what makes this what it is. And this is a center column, but let me show you the fact that it's got a giant print. So on the inside, you got these super cool. I like the purple paper paste down liners. I like the little bit of design. There's the presentation page. Again, you get the two intro pages, Holy Bible, the Holy Bible. Again, this is the New King James Version. And then you got the copyright page, and then the table of contents. Nothing too like crazy in here. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Preface, concordance, all 66 books of the Bible. So no bells and whistles. It is just plain text, and if that's what you like, there you go. So hold on, let me show you this. This is the preface, and it's not a big preface. It's actually more like a pared down preference. I keep saying preference, sorry. Preface. If you saw my if you saw my review of the color-coded study Bible, the color-coded study Bible actually has, I believe, the full preface, but this is more of a pared down one, so you kind of get the cliff notes, if you will, of the preface. So there's that. And then the Old Testament. So now we get to see the text. It is massive, my friends. It is generous, and it is readable and beautiful. And here's an example of those center column references, so that's really cool. And then at the beginning of each book, you also get a brief book introduction. So it talks about the first parts of Genesis, and throughout the whole thing, also talks about the name, where the word comes from. The word comes from the Greek word, which means origin or source. And then also talks about the original Hebrew, which is Bereshith, which is actually the first, these words right here in the beginning. That's what Bereshith means. And then gives you some other highlights. There's that. And then just for fun, actually I want to show you this real quick so you can kind of see. So you do have some nice pericopes, and that's what each chapter number looks like. And then it'll tell you the first verse on this page and last verse on this page, as a lot of Bibles do. Super nice, super nice. Not anything to write home about, but you know what? If it ain't broke, people, don't fix it. A lot of people complain about some things that people try to do with their Bibles, try to make the Bible super cool and whatever. But if you're somebody who just loves a straightforward Bible and you also like the center column, this might be for you. All right, so I'm going to go to the prose real quick so you can kind of get a look at that. Sorry, not prose, poetry. So here is the book of Psalms. So again, like in a lot of New King James Bibles, it is verse by verse. And again, you have the center column right down there with the references. Now we're going to go to the New Testament here. Uh-oh. I got this nice purple ribbon just peeking out. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Ain't that beautiful? That's a brilliant color. I like that. I'm not too fond of purple personally. My mom is, and I'm actually going to give this Bible to her. This is her Bible, but I'm going to review it first and then give it to her. So we're going to go to the New Testament here so you can see the red letter. And I'm just going to go to my favorite place, which is the Beatitudes, or should I say the Sermon on the Mount. So you can kind of see the red. The red here, great, well done. As Thomas Nelson does. Again, the verse numbers are in black, and so are the pericopes and the chapter numbers. But yeah, everything else here is in red. And again, this is also a paragraph format. It is double column, but separated by this center column reference thing, and then you also have the verses in paragraph format. So if you're not a fan of that, I'm sure that there are verse by verse New King James Bibles, but many of them are in in paragraph format. All right, so, yep, and then you got the typical stuff. In the back, you got the concordance. So again, nothing too wild, pretty cool, pretty nice. If you like concordances, there you go. And then it's also got the maps. So again, and then you also have a little bit of word on the comfort print for the New King James Bible. A lot of these Bibles have this at the end, so if you're curious about, this font and stuff, there you go. It's right before the maps. So here's the maps. Again, they're always on this nice thick cardstock. Super beautiful, super vivid, super informational. I personally, I don't bother with the maps. Since they're in the back, I don't really notice them. I don't really pay attention to them, but they are really cool whenever I do a review. They are pretty cool because then you get to kind of see some of these ancient names and get to see places that you may not see, and you definitely won't see in their ancient form. And then again, you got these super cool purple end sheets and the back of the Bible. So there you go, guys. So there's not too much to say about this Bible, guys. Let's be honest. It's a beautiful Bible. A lot of what this is really what is really compelling is the cover. The guts of the Bible are nailed down. Like they are just like right there. They're good. There's nothing too crazy about them. They're good. But the cover itself and the color and just the little things like the brilliant purple ribbon, the red, I forgot about the perimeter stitching, and also the silver gilding. It just makes it a beautiful, beautiful Bible, guys. So if you're looking for a beautiful Bible, no thrills, you just want something straightforward, you are looking for a large print, you are okay with the center column references, you're okay with the red letter, and so on and so forth, here you go. Perfect Bible. They do make verse arts in all kinds of different blocks. So you'll have, I'm trying to remember, I have another one. It's a thin line reference Bible. It's not center column, but it's brown. It's got a different verse on it. You can look and see on Thomas Nelson's website, on Amazon, on different places, what kind of offerings they have. They have smaller Bibles, like personal size Bibles, both in Leathersoft. And if you are wanting to get something a little higher quality, you want to get a little leather, you can. That's an offering too. Sometimes on Amazon, they do have sales for the leather Bibles that are really cheap, about the price of these Leathersoft Bibles. But, guys, the Leathersoft in the New King James, Thomas Nelson, this stuff is beautiful. It's soft, it's supple, it's almost like leather itself. It's not leather, it's fake. So if you are okay with that, I say go for these Bibles. These are great. The cover's great, the guts are great. It's just a straightforward, simple New King James Bible. It's no thrills. It works. It gets the job done. It's not exciting. There's nothing that gets between you and the text. And that's really the important thing. You don't want too much fluff. You have study Bibles and those are good for studying, but if you want a good reading Bible, then check this out. Check these verse art Bibles out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review from Bibles on a Budget. And remember, folks, the truth does not have to be expensive. See you in the next one.